Hey guys, welcome back here to another part of the Dark Ride build, and I haven't been able to film as much as I would like to, mainly because of the fact this map and the amount of pieces that are in this build is so large that my computer is struggling to actually record and play at the same time, especially while in multiplayer. But I'm just giving you a quick little overview here of the Jurassic Park area, which has come together very nicely. We've got this whole back room that needs to be done. Mr. Unit has been doing some really awesome work here on the alien area. Here's a little look for you. It's where the cars would stop. We've got these cool little desks and computers, and through the windows there is a space scene with like satellites and stars and that kind of thing, which looks really awesome. This is still to be completed and finalized. And then obviously over here in room 4, I'm going to be doing a Back to the Future area today. So I'm going to get right into a time lapse now and get started with that. So at the current time, me and Mr. Unit have done actually quite a lot of work on this. Obviously, I'm a little bit behind with the videos. We have actually done the Indiana Jones room, which I wasn't able to film, unfortunately, just because of the lag. And I think showing you laggy footage is just not fun. So I'm going to show you in real time, and I'll show you all the little bits that have been done. But for today, I'm just going to get on with the last little kind of time-lapse video that I have, and that is building the Back to the Future area. But I've also been working on the exterior walls of the whole building and how that's going to look. The front of the building isn't quite finished yet, but the kind of how the outside of it looks, I've kind of done as well. Mr. Unit has been doing some really cool theming and stuff. He's kind of pimped up the entrance of the ride with the station, and that's looking really cool as well, so I can't wait to show you that. So, Back to the Future, this was a theme that I originally wanted to do for the whole entire Dark Ride before Mr. Unit actually approached me about doing a collaboration, which I'm very glad he did because it's been such a big project. I don't know if I would have been able to have completed this alone, but my original idea was to do Back to the Future and kind of tell that story a little bit from the first movie. But we decided to go for a theme that would have been more easy to execute, and that was to do more of a movie kind of studio tour type thing and go through various movies, and obviously one of the films being Back to the Future. So I did get a chance to play with that theme a little bit here, and so I'm starting off in this corner here with doing a Hill Valley sign. I'm just using a picture from Google of the actual sign from the film. It has the word welcome on the top of it in grey, and then it has obviously like welcome to Hill Valley on the actual board itself. So I'm just using the text app to do that, and yeah, this was quite simple actually, but I think it looks very effective. I'm just trying to make it look as close to the original as possible, but obviously changing it a little bit just to fit Parkitect's aesthetics. And then it has all these big signs and like badges or awards or something on that sign, so I'm just using some shapes to achieve that look. I wasn't sure how that was going to look, whether it would just look like random spots, but I actually think this turns out okay. But I thought this was a really cool place to place the sign there. And then I just need to figure out how to hide the kind of gate that goes from Alien into Back to the Future, and how to theme that up so that this side of it matches into the Back to the Future theme, whereas the other side obviously fits the Alien theme. So to achieve my theme for Back to the Future, Google has played a huge help, obviously typing in various famous scenes from the film, trying to get a look at some of the buildings and the style, the sign, and I just basically decided to do more of like where the clock tower is. There's this kind of like city or the town plaza where it's green and it's a bit of a park, and it has this very nice shaping and stuff, and I tried to translate that over into the game. Obviously where the track goes for the actual cars on the Dark Ride, I've had to accommodate for that, so that's why it is a bit of a random shape, but I've tried to achieve that kind of park in the town kind of look. Now, to hide the entrance from Alien into Back to the Future, I decided to make this a retro style petrol station, and so I'm just going to kind of do that a little bit. It's not super detailed. I might go back in and add a few more details, but the idea is there, and I thought this was quite a cool way just because the iron kind of gate there kind of does look like a bit of a garage type thing. But I wanted to add like a petrol pump in the middle. I swear there was like a prop that looked like a petrol pump, but I couldn't find it anywhere, so I ended up having to build my own. But there are some of these cool kind of petrol cans, so I've placed a couple of those at the side. And just while I was in the props, kind of looking around, I did find some cool little bits that I've added in just to around the scene, just to give it a bit more of like a story, a bit more of like a real town kind of atmosphere. We got these fire hydrants. I found like a wheelbarrow somewhere. I think I put that down. The ladder, of course, as well, which I thought would be cool. A bucket of paint, like someone maybe is painting the Hill Valley sign. So these little cool little details I thought were just nice, and I did them very spontaneous. I didn't plan on doing those at all. But here I am just making the like I said, the kind of petrol pump type thing right in between the two cars coming through. It's quite a narrow space. I had to try and make it very small so that the cars don't collide with it, but I think it turned out quite well. Here the text app was being weird, and every time I put a different font in, it would go back to a standard font. Don't know what that was about. But over here, as you can see, I do have a DeLorean. That is from the, I think it's from the Props Galore mod, I think. So that worked out absolutely perfect for this. I've just done another one of those kind of green kind of lawn areas in a weird shape. And the DeLorean is going to be disappearing there off into the black curtain. Those lights there are going to be colored, so they change, so it looks like the car is going through like a time hole, or whatever you want to call it, like a time portal into the future or back into the past, or whatever you like. And I've put some fire along the floor there to get those very iconic flaming tire tracks that the car leaves behind. And then obviously after I've kind of done this area, I have to build the actual clock tower itself, where Doc Brown obviously is trying to connect the cables before the lightning hits so that the car can hit 88 miles an hour and head off into the future. So now let's jump into the time lapse for the actual clock tower build itself. So I'm just kind of looking at a picture, and this is going to be more of a facade type building rather than an actual full building, because you're not going to be able to see the back of it at all. So I'm trying to downscale it a little bit as well so that it would fit nicely into this dark ride kind of area setting. I think you find in dark rides in real life, a lot of the buildings and the scenes are done using what's it called, forced perspective, where things get smaller towards the top to give it the appearance of looking much larger, and also the buildings are downscaled a little bit. So this is going to be downscaled just ever so slightly, just for the purpose of it being a dark ride and fitting into this actual space that I have. But I'm just using the picture like I said, and obviously it has 4 columns on the front, so I'm just kind of copying that, trying to get some of the shapes and the basic kind of the aesthetic of that building down, so you can definitely see what it is. But yeah, this wasn't too difficult at all, just using some shapes and some borders and some brick walls, and it comes together quite nicely. I'm quite happy with how it turned out, and this was definitely like a thing that I needed to build. This had to be in the Back to the Future area, because I can't really think of another iconic scene than the one with the lightning hitting the clock tower. So I've just jumped ahead there ever so slightly. I've just added in a brick wall there along the back, and now I'm just adding in some windows. There's actually 3 layers of windows on the real clock tower. There's like a very small window on the top, but it looked a bit strange in this type of scale, or in this scale that I was doing. So I just kind of stuck to having the 2 layers of windows. And I'm just going to do one side. I'm going to save that as a blueprint, and then just copy it over just to save myself a little bit of time. Not cheating. It's okay to do that sometimes. I do it quite a lot. If you have to repeat things over and over, sometimes it's best just to save those little kind of sections as a blueprint. So yeah, just kind of doing the windows there, like I said, trying to find some pieces, how to make this look kind of how it does in the picture. That's coming along quite nicely. And then yeah, I just need to now finalize those windows and then save those as a blueprint. Moving on now just to the roof here. So this is quite easy. I'm just doing a standard type roof, like a peak roof, and then there's a really cool clock that's actually a vanilla piece, I believe, and so that's gone in the middle there. And then the lion itself is actually the lion statue that I've just sunken into the wall there, and that works out absolutely perfect. Like, it looks just like the actual thing. So I'm really happy with how that looked. I just need to outline the clock a little bit because it being plain white looks a bit strange. So I'm going to put a ring around that from Future in Space just to make it have like a rim around it, which will look much better. And of course the cable coming down from the clock tower. I'm actually just using a cable. I think this is like a wibbly wobbly cable. I'm not sure what mod set it's from. But I've kind of just placed that on using Freedom 2K. I've angled it down so it can go down to the car. And then I've made like this little bit where the cable hangs across, where the DeLorean would actually hook onto to get the power. And I just need to do some triggers and some timing so that the lightning hits the tower, and then it's going to be like a flash, but the cars wait, they're quite long in front of the actual building, so I need to try and figure out something else to fill in that little gap of time. Otherwise the flash happens and then there's quite a long time before the cars move, and then you'll see the fire come out of the back of the DeLorean. So I just need to figure that out with some timing. But I just need to clear up this area now, add some more kind of planter areas with the green and some bushes and stuff. And along this back wall here on the right hand side, I am actually going to go ahead and do a facade of some typical kind of shops and buildings, and I think there's like a car repairs shop and that kind of thing. Pictures that I've seen from actual Hill Valley from the film, that I'm going to just do a nice facade along there, just so that wall's not plain and boring. But that is basically everything today from Back to the Future, this area, or what I have to show you anyway. And I've left some screenshots as well at the end of the video so you can see how it kind of turned out, including that facade along the wall, because I didn't film myself filming it just because of the reasons why I said lag and that kind of thing. But I hope you've enjoyed it. Please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll keep you updated with this build. I'll show you around some more of the areas that have been done off camera in another episode. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time here on my channel for another video. Bye!